In the quiet embrace of dawn, as the first pale light caressed the dew-laden fields, I found myself reflecting on a transformation that would forever alter the destiny of humankind. Before the age of digital marvels and technological wonders, our ancestors embarked on a quiet yet revolutionary journey, the passage from wild abundance to deliberate cultivation. In that early world, nature provided a lavish bounty, a corn ear with its plump, glistening kernels wrapped in a silken husk, a natural marvel seemingly designed for our delight. Yet beneath this picturesque display lay a story of radical change. I wandered through ancient mental fields where the wild grasses and unassuming seeds held secrets of both beauty and survival. These subtle gifts called out to early humans, prompting them to select the choicest kernels and plant them with care. It was here, amid nature's gentle whispers, that the fateful process of domestication was set in motion. This quiet intervention transformed a modest wild grass into a robust, life-sustaining crop, a symbol of human ingenuity. The naked truth of agriculture unfurls as a tale of deliberate choices made over generations, crafting a delicate balance between nature's raw artistry and humankind's persistent striving for progress. Standing before the fields of today, my thoughts drift back to those early moments when every season's harvest was a profound victory over nature's unpredictability. This narration is my homage to the ancient hands that molded wild potential into the steady pulse of settled life, a vivid reminder that every modern miracle began with simple acts of care and observation. In every ear of corn, there lies a legacy of transformation that bridges the gap between the natural world and a future built on cultivated hope. Imagine a radiant ear of corn nestled among verdant stalks, each kernel a miniature burst of sunshine and possibility. Under the gentle caress of an autumn sun, the corn reveals its inherent artistry. The kernels, large and inviting, glimmer like tiny treasures, each one carefully encased by a protective, leafy husk. Walking through vast fields, I behold a design so elegant that it evokes the imagery of nature's own artisan, wrapping each gift with the care of a master craftsman. The ear of corn is a perfect emblem of nature's innate efficiency. Its husk functions like a natural envelope, preserving and sheltering the edible kernels until just the right moment when human hands or curious creatures come to harvest its bounty. Standing amidst the sea of green, I see not just a food source, but a living sculpture, a testament to the divine geometry and balance inherent in nature's design. Every kernel, every swath of husk, is a whisper from the past, a signature left by nature before human intervention sculpted it into a technological marvel. In this moment of quiet reflection, I appreciate the effortless beauty and simplicity that prefigured the more intricate narrative of domestication. The untouched corn cob is both a relic and a gently spoken promise of what is yet to come, a precursor to the profound transformation driven by human curiosity and labor. Long ago, in an era where the vast, untamed landscapes were navigated by nomadic tribes, the rhythm of life was dictated solely by nature's capricious pace. In this timeless tableau, early humans, watchful, resourceful, and always adapting, began to see that nature's gifts could be coaxed into something more permanent. Imagine communities gathering at the edge of wild fields under warm, golden skies, their eyes keenly discerning which plants shone with promise. In these quiet moments of observation, the seeds of a revolution were sown. The transition from foraging to farming was not a singular event, but a slow, deliberate process born out of necessity and hope. Early cultivators learned to favor the wild grasses that offered larger, more succulent kernels, selectively replanting these superior specimens season after season. A modest grass known as Teosinte, once overlooked by chance, gradually emerged as the foundation of a new way of living. Each season's harvest brought a subtle shift in appearance, as traits that supported a more bountiful yield became ever more pronounced. This evolution was as much an act of instinct as it was of design. With the deliberate replanting of the best seeds, early societies forged a tangible connection with the land, turning wild chaos into a symphony of order and abundance. In each furrow and every planted seed lay evidence of a quiet revolution, a transition from an existence defined by uncertainty to one fueled by promise and possibility. The painstaking care with which each kernel was chosen and sown not only altered the genetics of a plant, but reshaped the very fabric of human society. As I trace the footsteps of those ancient cultivators, I see a world in transformation. From the carefree existence of wandering bands to the rooted, stable nurture of planted fields. This metamorphosis, subtle yet profound, laid the foundation upon which entire civilizations would rise, bridging life's precariousness and the certainty of a cultivated future. At the heart of the agricultural revolution lies the remarkable metamorphosis of a humble wild grass, Teosinte, into maize, a crop that would come to sustain entire continents. In the absence of modern science, early farmers became the original genetic engineers, selecting by intuition and experience those plants that bore traits of greater abundance. The wild teosinte, with its diminutive ears nested within tough casings, was perfectly adapted for survival in the wild, but hardly fit for human consumption. Yet, a twist of genetic fate produced variants with exposed, accessible kernels that defied nature's original design. Those early farmers, observing every subtle difference in kernel size and ear structure, instinctively gathered the mutant plants that offered more edible yield. With each deliberate act of collection and planting, they nudged the delicate balance of nature in a new direction. Characteristics such as larger, more numerous kernels and a simplified ear structure gradually became the norm, a testament to the cumulative power of small, thoughtful decisions. This evolution was less a leap of scientific rigor and more a dance of survival, a melding of nature's inherent randomness with human selective precision. Walking through fields where modern maize now flourishes, I see living relics of this ancient process, rows upon rows of golden cobs standing as monuments to those early experiments. Each ear narrates the long journey from a wild grass that once shivered in the wind to a domesticated giant entirely dependent on human care. The process was not without trade-offs. Traits that appealed to human needs often diminished the plant's wild resilience. Yet, what was lost in the natural design was compensated by the incredible reliability of a crop that could support burgeoning civilizations. Beyond the sunlit fields of maize stretches a vast and interwoven tale of other cereal grains, wheat and rice, each with its own path from wild obscurity to indispensable sustenance. As I traverse ancient farmlands where the golden hues of wheat mingle with the emerald vibrancy of rice paddies, I witness history etched in every stalk and grain. These are testaments to a transformation fueled by human persistence and nature's remarkable plasticity. Wheat, once scattered haphazardly in wind-dispersed wild fields, faced the challenge of its own evolutionary impermanence. Its delicate seeds were designed for spread and survival in the wild, each one aiming to scatter with the breeze. Yet early cultivators saw promise in the plants whose grains stubbornly clung to the stalks, even as nature intended them to be swept away. This subtle trait, almost accidental in its origin, was favorably inherited and carefully nurtured until wheat evolved into a shatterproof marvel, a steadfast source of nutrition for ancient societies. In lands where water and earth wove their fates, rice too emerged from the wild. Thriving in inundated fields, this remarkable grass was gradually tamed by early farmers who selected for uniform ripening and bountiful harvests. With each season, rice evolved to meet the careful hands of its cultivators, becoming larger, more resilient, and profoundly reliable. The transformation of these grains was marked by the same delicate interplay of random mutation and deliberate selection, echoing the story of maize while writing its own unique chapter. Every kernel of wheat and every grain of rice carries within it the enduring memory of ancient decisions, moments when human intent met nature's unpredictability, coaxing forth the abundance that would form the backbone of emerging civilizations. As I wander among modern fields, the legacy of these transformative choices stands out as a timeless reminder. From wild chance to calculated design, nature's raw materials were remade into tools of survival. Today, these fields are more than just sources of food. They are living chronicles of ingenuity, resilience, and the unyielding human spirit. Across the tapestry of history, the metamorphosis of humble wild grains into life-sustaining staples has inspired myths and legends that reverberate through the ages. As I journey through the corridors of time, I encounter age-old stories that elevate maize, wheat, and rice from mere crops to sacred symbols imbued with divine purpose. Their legends speak not only of nourishment, but also of rebirth, transformation, and the eternal bond between humanity and the earth. In the rich cultural traditions of Mesoamerica, maize is far more than a harvest. It is a celestial gift bestowed upon humankind. Ancient Aztec traditions speak of maize as the vital force that awakened the very spirit of civilization, a golden thread weaving together the fabric of human society. The Maya, in their intricately crafted Popol Vuh, recount how the gods fashioned humans from the essence of maize itself, a creation myth that links every kernel to the heartbeat of life. The reverence for maize in these sacred myths reveals an understanding that food is not merely sustenance, but a divine inheritance that sustains both body and soul. Traveling eastward, the graceful lore of rice unfolds in equally vivid hues. In Chinese tradition, rice is celebrated not only for its capacity to feed, but also for its power to heal and renew. Ancient legends tell of deities whose compassion transformed water into abundant fields of rice, where each shimmering blade of green echoed the promise of hope, perseverance, and renewal. The subtle interplay of light and water in these myths captures the mystique of rice cultivation, a dance of nature and nurture, a quiet promise sealed with every falling grain. In the ancient hymns of Sumer, where the earliest storytellers chronicled the rise of civilization, grain is extolled as a cosmic force capable of bridging mortal fragility with divine strength. These timeless narratives portray the act of cultivation as a sacred ritual, a shared human endeavor that elevated wild abundance into a gift worthy of the gods. In every myth, each legend, there is a common thread, the acknowledgement that our ancestors did more than simply harvest. They forged a covenant with nature, turning wild potential into a legacy of abundance and order. These enduring legends, woven through with symbols of fertility, sacrifice, and rebirth, continue to resonate. They remind me that our modern fields are not only legacies of agricultural innovation, but also living echoes of an ancient, deeply spiritual relationship with the earth, a narrative where every grain sings a hymn of creation. Standing at the crossroads of history and modernity, I reflect on a legacy defined by both nature's generosity and humanity's relentless drive to perfect it. The transformation from wild teosinte and scattered grains into the robust staples of maize, wheat, and rice is a story of calculated risk and gentle innovation, a testament to our ancestors' ability to see opportunity in every kernel and every sprout. This journey, spanning millennia, is a chronicle of human progress. It is the deliberate shaping of nature into forms that sustain entire civilizations. Every cultivated field, every golden ear of corn, and every steadfast stalk of wheat speaks of ancient ingenuity, a quiet revolution where human hands coaxed nature to yield abundantly, turning chance and randomness into order and nourishment. As I survey today's vast agricultural landscapes, I see in them the echoes of early decisions, the cumulative result of thousands of years of careful selection and nurturing. Now, as we stand on the brink of future innovations, the promise of agriculture continues to evolve. Modern techniques blend seamlessly with time-honored traditions, ensuring that the spirit of early cultivators endures. Even as new technologies emerge, the fundamental bond between humankind and the earth remains unchanged, a bond forged by the same hands that once transformed wild potential into the lifeblood of civilization. In this enduring dance between nature and nurture, I find both a celebration of our past and an invitation to nurture our future.